are going to start our next chapter, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. What is sexual reproduction? In the previous chapter 1, we already discussed about sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a process of formation of young one with the fusion of male and female gametes. So in this chapter, we read about sexual reproduction take place in flowering plant. How plant reproduce by sexual mean. Now, what is flower? In plus one morphology chapter, we studied about the morphology and the modification of various part of plant. That is modification of root, stem, and leaf. Now, what is flower and how flower originate? Flower is the modification of shoot. Shoot modification give rise to origin of flower. Now second, flower is the essential part or flower is the essential reproductive part present in the plant. Now what does it mean essential reproductive part? If flower is present, then sexual reproduction take place. If flower is not present, sexual reproduction will not take place in the plant. Flower has four structure in it. First one is sepal, petals, stamen, and carpel. Sepals and petals are non-essential part. Note down, sepals and petals are non-essential part, whereas stamen and carpel are essential parts. Now what does that mean essential and non-essential? Essential part is that without which sexual reproduction cannot take place. Means if essential structure is absent, sexual reproduction will not take place. In stamen, male gamete is formed, whereas in carpel, female gamete is present. So fusion of male and female gamete is known as sexual reproduction. So if stamens and carpels are not present, so sexual reproduction will not take place. That's why stamen and carpel are called as essential part, whereas sepals and petals only provide color to the flower, so they are non-essential part and they are help to attract insect for pollination only. Their work is only to attract insect for the pollination or to provide a bright color to the flower. So these are four structure present in the flower. Now, if four structure or if complete four parts are present in the flower is known as perfect flower. Means if sepal, petals, stamen and carpels are present, then the flower is known as complete. Whereas if sepal or petal or stamen or carpel is missing, if one part is missing, then it is known as imperfect flower. Now the structure of flower in the next slide. Yes, this is the structure of flower. I am underlying the main. This is the sepal and colorful structure. This one petal. This arrow. Yes, this one is female part and anther here and filament. This anther and filament combine to form male part, whereas in a stigma, style, ovary combine to form a female part, and the petals are brightly colored leaf-like structure and sepals are generally green in color. They are present at the base of flower. So these are the four parts present in the flower: sepal, petal, male part and female part. Inside the ovary, ovule is present. In the previous chapter 1, ovary give rise to formation of fruit. Yes, ovary give rise to the formation of fruit, whereas ovule give rise to formation of seed. But seed production and fruit formation will take place after sexual reproduction. Got it? And there are two type of fruits are there in first chapter, parthenocarpic fruit. So it is the formation of fruit without fertilization. Next. Now, in chapter 1, I have mentioned you the three basic steps of reproduction, sexual reproduction: pre-fertilization, fertilization, and post-fertilization events. Pre-fertilization events are those events which are present just before the fertilization. Means just before the fertilization, the formation of gamete is take place or the gamete transfer is take place in the first chapter. Pre-fertilization events are those events which are just before the fertilization process. So in the fertilization, fusion of male and female gamete take place. So in the first topic, that is pre-fertilization, we discuss about the gamete formation or the gamete transfer. And in the first uh, topic in this slide, we study about the where the male gamete are present, yeah, which is the structure in which the male gametes are formed. So first is androecium. Androecium represent the male sex organ, whereas gynoecium represent the female reproductive organ. Yes, in the figure, stamen, this one, this is anther. In figure B, this is anther, this is filament. Anther plus filament combine to form a stamen. Stamen composed of anther and filament. Filament holds the anther, whereas in anther, pollen grain formation take place. Yes, next. Anther is generally bilobed. Now what is bilobe? Bi means two. Bi means two. You can see here first, second. This is a bilobed structure. This one, bilobed structure. Generally, anther is bilobed structure, and each lobe has two theca. Theca is a partial covering, so the anther is known as dithecous. And when we cut the anther, each anther give a structure that is microsporangia. Microsporangia, this one. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are 4 microsporangia located at the corner, and inside the microsporangia there is a sac-like structure. Sac-like means cavity-like structure. This structure is known as pollen sac. So microsporangia become pollen sac. The last point, yes, it is written. Microsporangia become pollen sac in which pollen grains are packed. You can see here inside this pollen sac, the pollen grains rupture, the anther get ruptured and pollen grains move out. This one. So this is the stamen. Stamen consists of filament and anther. Stamen is generally bilobed, dithecous. There are 4 microsporangia, and these microsporangia become pollen sac in which pollen grain formation are packed. Pollen grain formation take place and they are packed in the microsporangia. When the anther get mature, anther get break down and the pollen grains moves out from anther in the surrounding or environment. Next, now what is the structure of microsporangium? Structure of microsporangium. In the last slide, in the last figure, we this one. These are 4 future pollen sac. These are 4 future pollen sac. Yes. Now, in the labeling, you can see easily outer layer is known as epidermis. Now, inside the epidermis there is endothecum, means below epidermis. Below epidermis, endothecum is present, and several layers are present. Middle layer, this one, middle layers are present, and inside this the tapetum is present. So microsporangia is surrounded by 4 wall layer. Outer layer is epidermis, next endothecum, yes, next several layers composed and named as middle layer, and then tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer. Note down, tapetum is the innermost layer. Innermost means after middle layer, inside the middle layer there is tapetum is present. Tapetum is generally multinucleate. Multinucleate means more than one nucleus is present. Multinucleate structure. And last to last year question, what is the function of tapetum? Tapetum help in the nourishment for developing pollen grain. When the pollen grain develop, tapetum is the layer that provide nourishment. Tapetum is the layer that provide nourishment for the development of pollen grain. And each microsporangium contain a group of cells combined to form a sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous tissue is that which help in the formation of spores. Now what are the spores? Pollen grain is a spore. Pollen grain is a spore. So sporogenous tissue give rise to the formation of spores, that is pollen grain. And for the formation of pollen grain or for the nourishment, the layer is present named as tapetum. Next. Now microsporogenesis. Genesis means formation. Genesis means formation. Genesis means formation. Micro means small. Sporo matlab means spores. Spores. So pollen grain is microscopic. So the formation of pollen grain is known as microsporogenesis. The definition of microsporogenesis is the process of formation of microspore from pollen mother cell. Pollen mother cell help in the formation of microspore. This is known as microsporogenesis. Got it? And in the first chapter, I already discussed, for the formation of gamete, there is a division take place known as meiosis. Meiosis is the reductional division. Meiosis is the reductional division. So the reductional division give rise to formation of microspores. Now you must note that each microspore mother cell undergo meiosis. Meiosis is the reductional division. So meiosis reduce the chromosome number. Meiosis reduce the chromosome. Meiosis reduce the chromosome number, and it will give rise to formation of microspore tetrad, that they are haploid in nature. Haploid means single set of chromosome. In human, sperm contain 23 chromosome, egg contain 23 chromosome. So both sperm and egg is haploid in nature. Same in the plants, the male gamete has half number of the chromosome of the parent plant. So here meiosis maintain the chromosome number in the plants. Now now microspore tetrad dissociate. Dissociate means break down. So microspore tetrad dissociate to form 4 microspore, and each microspore develop into a pollen grain. In the figure given below, these are the 4 microspores. I am underlining here this one. 4 microspore, got it? And each microspore give rise to a new pollen grain. This is the development of pollen grain. Microspore maturing into a pollen grain. Pollen grain contain two type of cell here, vegetative cell and genetic cell. We will discuss it later. In the next day lecture, we will study about pollen grain. Now, in the today topic, I am just having a quick revision. What is sexual reproduction? Now, second topic is which part of plant help in the sexual reproduction? That is flower. Flower contain 4 structure: sepal, petal, androecium and gynoecium. Function of sepal and petal: androecium and gynoecium. Complete flower, incomplete flower or perfect flower. Then anther, filament, structure of anther, and the process of formation of pollen grain is known as microsporogenesis. This is all about in the today lecture. Thank you.